Alright, so today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons again. This is another one of those videos. But we're going to talk about cosmology, magic, and deities. And that's such an extremely complicated topic that this is just going to be a surface scratch. But we're still going to do it. So it's like you need to decide exactly. Not exactly. I mean, the players don't necessarily need to know this unless they need to know for some reason. But you need to decide how the gods created your world, why they created it, what they're actually like, when they created the world. That kind of stuff is very important to decide, and it's also very important to decide which gods you're using and which ones you're not. Dungeons and Dragons actually originally came with a pantheon that I don't know if the really modern five and later editions do that or not, but the earlier editions they actually do come with a fictional pantheon that you can look at in the original books, and I'm speaking of the TSR books, not the Wizards of the Shitstorm books. Um, and I mean, you could use things from more generic fantasy if you really wanted to, but one thing to understand is that clerics and paladins, who are both holy magic users, although paladins are a bit more like a knight, they have to dedicate themselves to a specific deity unless their order specifically is dedicated to all valid deities or something like that. And there are a few types that are like that. But one thing that I've noticed is that people who play as paladins sometimes want to say that they're paladins of atheism or communism or other fedora lord, just absolute bullshit. And so my solution to that is very simple. Okay, you want to be a paladin of atheism? That's fine. You can do that. Your god is Azathoth. Enjoy. Solution granted. But like to be more serious about it, they should cover. They have deities when they're being designed. Pantheons should have slight overlap so that some deities either have more authority than they realistically would really have, or the deities cover things like a Venn diagram where some things are covered by a lot more than just one deity, and other things are covered by just one deity. Uh, and the reason you want to do that is for a sensible, well put together world in which you have a clear cut energy flow from a lot of different sources down to the material realm. And so with magic, though, there's been some people are trying to say that they just don't want magic in the game, like at all. I mean, if there's not going to be any magic in the game at all, I'll just invent a TARDIS and fly to the past and LARP in the 1300s. I mean, because I'm just completely removing magic like that, or mostly removing magic like that, makes it boring in a lot of ways because it disallows a lot of creatures, it disallows a lot of items, and it disallows a lot of events. And other people say that whenever you find a magical item, enemies should get stronger or weaker, or the magical item should have limited number of charges that you don't know what the charge is, so that you can only use it a few times and then it's gone. Which the charges being limited and you not knowing what they are is fine, but a mage or another magic user should be able to figure it out. And a mage that's above probably level 8 or 7 should be able to figure that out by just touching it. Once they've touched a magical item due to their high level, they know what it is. They know. I mean, they don't know what it is, but they if it has charges, if it's a charge use item, they know how many it has. Because I mean, don't sit there and tell me that I don't know what the charges of something are when I've spent my whole life studying magic and my whole adventuring life studying magic and cast 5 or 6 spells every single day. Just that's nonsensical. Don't tell me that. And this stuff where like this ridiculous shit where y'all just want to play the game with no magic at all. I mean, y'all can just travel to the past and live in the past yourself if you want to do that. I'm not going to. Admittedly, however, there are some plots that are about magic, like restoring it or saving it or those other things like that. That's a little different. That's not just I'm a fedora lord who doesn't like magic. The dungeon master. I mean, but the other thing is once your magic users, any magic users, reach a certain level, they should be able to create magical items. And I don't mean create them like create item to spell or something like that. Although that could be a spell that would be cool and useful. I meant they should know the skills necessary to by hand chisel the enchantment into something and make. They should be able to make a thing, chisel the enchantment into it, and then zap it, and then have a magical item. And it should not take 20 rolls, and it should not take 5 attempts. It should, once you're about level, oh, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10, that stuff should become easy to you. And once you're about level 12 or 13, for a lot of things, it's not going to even, shouldn't even require a roll at all. So, yeah, basically, magic is one of the most essential things about the game because magic is like about the wonder of it and the mystery of it and the enigma of it and the just the fantasy of it. I mean, if it's just going to be a straight no magic replay of the 1300s or something like that, just time travel to that time period and do that because it's just that's like the huge portions of the monster manual can't be used because magic isn't real, and huge numbers of items can't be used because there's no magic, and that's like taking 90% of the cool out of the game and just throwing it out the window and that being done with, and that's just that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not gonna do that, and just basically what you circling all the way all the way back to what I was saying about Azathoth earlier is uh, he's going to respond however he wants to, and whether it benefits you or not, he's going to do what he's going to do. Period. So if you say that you're a paladin of atheism, and I make you a paladin of Azathoth, you're in for a wild ride. And the solution to those people who want to just flagrantly do stupid shit like that is you don't have a choice. Your deity's Azathoth now. The end. Period. So, to fedoras and to atheism. Because really, how would atheism even work in a Dungeons and Dragons world? You see magic every day of the week. You fight demons routinely. You fight undead routinely. You fight huge monsters like dragons and giants routinely. I'm telling you, in a world as dangerous as Dungeons and Dragons, people would believe in deities and would pray to them daily. Just the same as there are no atheists in a foxhole.